Hello.
Hello.
Welcome back to the
Everyone.
Open Up podcast. How are you guys doing today?
Well, I'm happy to be back. This is our first podcast in 2026.
Yes, it
Yes.
is. I'm happy to be back too. I couldn't wait till we started this again.
Yes, it's been a couple of months since we last recorded and a lot has happened in the past
Yes.
couple of months, but we're ready to get back into it.
Absolutely.
Yes. So, what are we opening up about today, Bunny?
Today we're opening up about the season of Lent. Now, our last podcast, we were talking about Advent and Christmas. So that's how much time has gone by, is that now we find ourselves in the season of Lent.
Yes. So, let's open up about Lent.
And of course, we're opening up with a poem,
That's right.
and it's called Lent, appropriately. Leading the way, Jesus enters the desert for 40 days. We follow with hearts bearing the winter chill. He asks us to be silent and still. For God's mercy wants to weave its way into our souls, inviting us to imagine that which will make us whole. With ashes fresh on our foreheads, wander with Christ a while. Pray, fast, give alms. See the miracles God wants to perform within us and around us. Enter the journey that leads from the desert to the table to the cross and the empty tomb.
Amen.
So there were some elements in that poem that talk a little bit about Lent, and I'm wondering if any of those resonated with both of you.
I think the line that resonated with me is enter the journey that leads from the desert to the table to the cross and to the end empty tomb. Um, this is what Lent is about: taking some time out into the desert, looking back at our lives and seeing whether there are things that needs to be changed, maybe something that needs to be worked on, maybe we need to give a little, maybe we need to abstain from certain things. Then we get to the table, right? And then we give it all back to Christ. And then at the end of the 40 days and 40 nights, we experience this resurrection um, into something new, into new life, some type of change, a breath of fresh air. Yeah, I think that's what comes out of this for me.
Thank you.
For me, it was the line about he asks us to be silent and still, because I think a lot of what Lent is about is that time of reflection and conversion, but also the ashes fresh on our foreheads. Because I really like the image of ashes as a sign of repentance, but also as a sign of something that needs to die for new life to happen. So, like some fields, a good way of treatment is to burn the the whatever is there, to let it rest and let it regenerate minerals and all of that. And I think that's a very good symbolism of the what the ashes represent, that give way to a new life of something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So out of ashes comes new life. And I think ash also, if you spread ashes on the soil,
Yes.
as you were talking about minerals,
Yes.
that's what regenerates,
Yes,
helps
it
to
does.
regenerate the soil. So yeah, so to apply that spiritually, that's pretty much what we're trying to do as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So as you think about Lent, what are some of the practices that have been a part of your life so far? Like maybe a memory you have of Lent when you were growing up, um, something that stands out for you about this season.
Well, for me, one of it's food. Yeah. So in Mexico we make a pirotada, and so this is the time of year where we make a pirotada, which is a form of bread pudding. Um, and also there's very specific foods for Lent, especially for Fridays, but like all throughout Lent, but especially on Fridays because you don't eat meat. And so I don't know how to call them, but it's kind of there's this little like cakes, I guess, and you make them with they're savory, but you make them with like mashed potatoes and form them into like a little cake, kind of like a crab cake, like the shape of a crab cake, and then you fry it. But there's another one that is made with dried shrimp and other things. I never liked that one, but we used to always have them, and that's one of the meals that they make over there. The nopales and stuff like that. Yeah,
So nopales, for those of us who don't know what that is, what
it's
is that?
cactus.
Cactus.
Yes,
And there's plenty of that here in Texas.
yes.
So can people go out and gather their own and prepare it themselves, or is it better just to buy it at the store?
Depends where you live. If you live like out in the country, there might be places where you can go and pick. Um, but I think you have to know how to or like which ones to pick and blah blah blah. But you can also go to the market, and I mean a lot of people just go to the market and buy them there and then prepare them. There are many different ways to prepare them. I mean, nopales are like really just such a staple of Mexican food. So it's not just this time of year, but I do remember eating like a specific way that they fix them. I don't know exactly how, but it was in like a red sauce with potatoes, and and and, and so that was a little bit more specific to Lent, though we had them all year round. Yeah,
Delicious.
yeah.
How about you, McQueen? What do you identify with your earlier memories of Lent
I
growing up?
think growing up, I think we had to stay away from milk. Yeah, because it was a dairy, so we would not eat like chicken and
Oh,
and
and cream sauce or
like
anything?
any of these things. We would stay away from the meats, but it would be like a fish time, right? So you'd eat fish,
And you're allergic
and
to
I'm
shellfish.
allergic to shellfish,
Oh,
so sometimes I get exempted from that. But then, yeah, my mom and them used to have like different. We used to go to the what do you call it, the sea bass, and then they would buy like lobster or whatever. My parents they would have lobster, or sometimes we get crab and they would eat crab, but then I would not eat it. I was having the best time because I would be able to eat meat, but on Fridays ourselves we would stay away. So we would have like roasted fish, and sometimes we have cough is a type of fish, or Atkinson's, or like a different type, various type of fishes that we would have during the time. It used to be expensive because fish is expensive, but it was fun. We had to give up eating chocolate. We had to give up eating the normal things that we used to. Um, but now growing up, I'm like, oh, well, I'm gonna eat these things, but let me give up something else, like maybe getting angry. Maybe I'm gonna smile more, and that's why I like Pope Francis's message when he said, instead of giving up food, why don't we give up the things that prevents us from creating community, or creating good friendships. So he spoke about all of these things like gossip, lust, all of these um, negative things that we should give up. So now I'm focusing on these things. Yeah. What about you, Bonnie?
Well, the foods that I remember growing up, we had a bread pudding too, and
Hmm.
rice pudding, and but it was different from the capirotada.
Yeah,
Ours was more of um, kind of like just bread that got stale, and then you worked it in with pineapple and
okay.
spices and raisins, and um, and the recipe was about the same for bread or for the rice, because you had those same ingredients,
Yeah,
the spices, the milk, and pineapple and
yeah.
raisins. So I remember that as being part of our Lenten fare. I also would look forward to Lent because I loved fish sticks, and we would
Oh,
fish
No.
sticks at school on Fridays.
but didn't you have those like all year round on Fridays?
Not every Friday. We didn't have it all year round. Sometimes it
Wasn't
would be grilled cheese or
Oh, okay,
yeah.
okay. Because you
But
couldn't eat meat on Friday, like
that's
throughout the
that's
year.
correct. I am of that age where when I was young, every Friday was fasting or abstaining from meat.
Yeah,
And it was while I was growing up that those fasting rules kind of relaxed.
yeah,
And so that they relaxed so much that people in my generation were like, wow, the people today are such wimps because you only have to give up meat for sure on Ash Wednesday and Good Friday
Right.
and the Fridays in Lent. But
Oh,
it and if you choose not to, well, nobody's going to care. So,
wow.
so I mean,
I agree with you.
we have seen both sides of that. So,
Right.
uh, but I also remember the wanting to do the giving up things, and usually it was something that was one of my favorite things that I would give up. So it would be not watching a particular TV show that I really liked. Um, Also, was always giving up chocolate because I love chocolate, and it got harder every year because it's like, okay, well, how does this sacrifice really please Jesus? And if I sneak a little bit, does he get that disappointed with me? So I don't know if you've had those little mind games that
Right.
go on in your head, but those things did play in mine. And then when we were able to look at things a little bit more differently, and certainly I'm past the age of where you have to observe those food restrictions.
Right.
What is it that would be more meaningful to do in Lent? What is it that would be looking at the right relationships between myself and others and God and work on those things? So,
Yes.
that good example you gave, McQueen, of giving up anger or giving up criticizing people,
Right.
um, giving up getting angry when the train comes and the gates come down and I'm running late. You know,
Yes.
those
Maybe
kinds.
giving up leaving your house late would be.
Maybe
That's
giving up staying in bed past the second
Yes,
alarm.
right.
exactly.
That is so true.
Yes.
Like right.
Give up
So
having two alarms and just keep one.
there you
Uh-huh.
go.
Yeah.
Spiritual growth.
Yes.
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 Good.
And anything that you're particularly focused on this season? Is there anything that you want to open up about that you're going to do this Lent?
Honestly, I feel like Len just snuck up on me. I mean, like it just like it's this. Okay, this is releasing on one Saturday, so so we're already in Lent by the time that
That
this
you're
is
right.
Right.
releasing, and so it just kind of it's just here because he came in so quickly. So just trying to figure out. I might have to just give up chocolate because I
I like
Because you
that.
haven't prepared
because I
anything.
haven't prepared anything.
Yes.
Exactly. But and maybe we'll put a little plug here because we do have a mission coming up at St. Gerard's,
Oh.
and your two hosts, McQueen and myself, are two of the preachers for the mission. So that's
Oh.
part of going to be part of the preparation for Lent for sure. But I think going off on what we were talking about, like what you give up for Lent and what is more meaningful because of what it's supposed to represent. So thinking of like, um, what good is it gonna be for me to give up chocolate versus if I give up getting angry? On the
Hmm.
one hand, I think it's so much easier to give up chocolate and know that I'm gonna stick with it, and it's gonna be less difficult than not getting angry because anger is a feeling that just sneaks up on you as well, and then all of a sudden you're just angry and you can't really avoid it. Whereas chocolate, you just don't buy it, or if someone says, "Do you want to have some?" you just say, "No, thank
No.
you."
Right.
But also, I remember many years ago, I was thinking about what I was gonna give up for Lent, and I was talking to another redemptorist about that, and he said something like, you should give up something that is really, really difficult. And I said, well, if I do that, I'm going to fail. And he said, that's the point. The point
Mm.
is to give up something that is difficult so you remember and realize that you can't do this alone, that you need the grace of God. That's the point. The point is that you fail. And so I
Mm.
think that that's a good encouragement to say, maybe I do need to give up something, try to give up something that is very, very difficult and that I can't control, to remind me of the reliance that I'm supposed to have in God and to ask for help.
That's deep, Antonio.
Yes.
Well, for me, I like Antonio. I think it came quickly. But I am internalizing things. I think I have come to a place of growth, and I have found nourishment before Lent started. So I think in the ministry that I have gone to, and I think I will continue to work on that for the Lenten time, and I will also look at things that maybe I need to give up myself, where it will hurt a little, like Antonio said. And then I would say, "Oh my God, McQuinn, you're a failure. Okay, you should have known better." But I think during this time, it's me thinking of, okay, McQueen, what's next? What can I do better? What can I do less of? And I will work on it throughout the time. When Ash Wednesday come, I'll have something in mind. But I haven't really thought of that so far.
Mhm. There have been all kinds of other things that you've been focused on.
Yes, yes.
Uh-huh.
We can give each other ideas of
Yes,
who
yeah,
I
we
should give
should.
up.
What do you What do you think we should give up, Connie?
Well, I'm not sure.
Oh yeah, you
Since
are.
I don't really live with you
Oh yeah,
all.
you don't have to. We
You
come
don't
here
have
so often. She's gonna say the two of you need to give up bickering.
I know.
That
Yes,
did cross my mind. I didn't say it, but
right.
you're getting to the point where you can read my mind.
Yeah. Well, that's good.
And maybe you look at it from a positive way as
Yes.
well, rather
Right,
than
right.
looking at it as giving up something. You may want to embrace it as, so I want to grow in this. So
Yeah.
I want to
Right.
grow in understanding of those who make me bicker.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
But also an alternative to giving up something is taking on something during Lent.
Oh, yes.
And
Yes.
so if you, for example, if I'm struggling with prayer, I could take on doing 15 minutes of meditation. Like we have the luxury of having access to a chapel 24/7.
Right.
So saying I'm gonna take on 15 minutes of meditation, every private meditation every day, or if, people listening at home to say, I'm going to pray the rosary on my way to work, or I'm going to listen to a Catholic podcast on my way to work, and so this will help us grow into the new life with Christ, which is what we're
Right.
working towards at the end of the
Mhm.
day to get to Easter Sunday. So
Exactly.
You know what I've learned last week before entering into or meeting somebody? Maybe I asked myself, how did I come? And then I leave. If I was angry before, then I realize, okay, let me leave that anger because these people over here are not angry. Let me bring joy to them because this is what is needed at the time. So I'm starting to learn that. I learned that with
with the young people,
the young people at I'm young too, but I mean at Our Lady of the Lake University. How did you come? And how do you come into spaces? Um, and then when you think of that, then you realize, okay, well, I could leave the anger where it was, and then be open to something new, which is love, which is joy, and yeah.
Mhm.
So maybe that's something that could be worked on.
It is.
Yeah.
And with a view toward the resurrection, it's like, how did my presence today speak of the resurrected Lord? How
Right.
did my presence in this group make a difference? And did I walk away from them with them feeling worse or better?
yeah,
Right. Right.
And so, if that's our aim, to bring a little bit of that resurrected joy, that hope, that immense love of God, if we can somehow bring a little piece of that, I think that's at the heart of the Lenten journey.
Yeah.
Right.
It isn't so much beating ourselves because we're sinful people, which is true, but we're also graced people,
Yeah.
and to embrace that better so that we actually can live the resurrection, as John Paul II had said. We are an Easter people, and Alleluia is our song.
Yes.
I agree,
Amen.
and I approve this message.
I think one of the times I didn't know what to give up for Lent. Actually, it wasn't that I didn't know, but I hadn't thought about it, and I was thinking I was gonna give up Coca Cola or something, and I don't even drink that much Coca Cola anyway.
So it would have
So it
been
was,
a real
yeah,
sacrifice.
but it was something because it was something that I had done years ago, and I thought, oh yeah, like I remember I did that, so I can just do that again. And as I was thinking about it, I realized that it's not that it's like, oh, this is really not going to do anything for me. And so I love music, and I'm always listening to music. And so what I did is I stopped listening to the regular music that I was always listening to, and I would only listen to Christian music
Mm.
for Lent, and sometimes it was a bit boring, I will admit, but but it helped me, and I felt that during that time, because I was always listening to music, and all of the music was Christian, and it talked about God, so it was a constant reminder of either the mercy of God or the grace of God or the love of God or whatever, and so it was always present with me. So
Mm.
that was something I haven't done it because it's too much of a sacrifice sometimes because I do love all kinds of music,
Mhm.
but it is good. But what I do, one of the things that we do when I was growing up for Holy Week, starting Thursday, we wouldn't listen to music or regular music. We wouldn't watch TV or anything like that unless it was a religious movie,
Yes.
right? And my family still does that, and I still try to do it. So one of my personal traditions is that on either Good Friday or Holy Saturday, I watch um not The Passion, no, oh man, this is a really good movie. It's the either the Prince of Egypt or the Ten Commandments. It's an animated
Mm.
movie.
Mm.
Well, it's not the Ten Commandments. I think it's the Prince of Egypt. Is
It's
the Prince?
animated.
Yeah, the animated movie. I don't know if you know the soundtrack for that one is really good.
I have the
And
soundtrack.
do you?
Yes.
And it was stacked. I mean, the actors that gave voice to the
Mariah Carey,
oh
Whitney Houston.
yeah, it's
Mhm.
incredible. But so that's one of my things to do during Holy Week is to watch that movie because it's really good too. And then I don't listen to regular music, so I would. I remember back when I was working, I used to listen to Gregorian chant because I had to work on Good Friday too. Anyway, so I would just to kind of
All
get
right.
me into the mood or whatever. Then I would get to work and like be fighting with customers and whatever. But
Mhm. But at least you had the Gregorian
I
chant to
know,
start
so
with.
am I.
at least on the ride because I had to drive like 30 minutes to work anyway.
Yeah, thank
Uh,
God
So
for the
30
forgiveness.
minutes, yeah. So
Oh.
the 30 minutes to work and the 30 minutes home was that space of
mhm,
Yeah.
mhm,
getting my Good Friday on.
mhm.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah, I do something similar. Growing up, we also didn't listen to radio
Yeah.
or watch TV from the time we got back from services on Holy Thursday
Hmm.
until we got back from services on at after the Easter Vigil. So Good Friday was always silent,
Mm-hmm.
and that was always the time that we did our spring cleaning too.
Mm.
Um, yeah, and so I still do that, although I'm not as thorough at it as I used to be.
Yeah.
But that's
Yes.
what I try to do during those days, to use it as a time for reflection and silence and prayerfulness. And if I have something on, it's either Jesus Christ Superstar or Godspell
Mm.
or Prince of Egypt, or um, there's a series of the different Gospels that Marty Hogan does. So
The
I'll
Chosen.
have those on.
Oh, the chosen.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm gonna do
I
that
was
for
thinking
the
because
40 days.
Scott used to do it, and I think he started around Lent. Scott's another brother. and he really got into it, and I was really surprised because that's I would have never expected that from him, and he started to tell me, and he got really into it. So much so that last year when we were at the Sikh conference, they had a booth, the Sikh people, not the Sikh, the
The
chosen,
chosen.
Chosen.
and we bought t-shirts, and then they gave us a t-shirt, and they gave us a hoodie, and they gave us a tote bag. I
Oh
have the
wow.
hoodie. I don't usually wear hoodies, but I have a hoodie with the
The
chosen, and it's
chosen.
steel, and it has fish and whatever. But anyway,
Wow.
so that
That's
that might
lovely.
be something to also watch if you like to watch series or
I'm
whatever.
gonna do. I'm gonna do that for my Lent. I'm gonna
Hmm.
start with an episode a day. I
Is
will
it how
Yeah.
try.
many episodes?
It
30?
it's a lot.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
So it'll take you through a lot of Lent
it
if it's
will.
30
Yeah.
episodes. So that's good. And on top of, keeping up with your studies
I know,
and
right?
showing up for ministry too.
But like one
And
episode, I feel like one episode a day. Like you could do it as
At
you
night,
unwind
like
to
before
go
you go to
in
bed.
bed,
Mhm.
or if you wake up super early. I mean, I did that for Game of Thrones, and that's another. You know,
Right?
I got so into it that
Like
I
watching
just
them.
I couldn't not watch it. And I was like one episode. Those episodes are like 40, 50 minutes long.
Yes.
Mm, mm.
So
Have
it's
you
like
watched
before
them?
bed you could watch.
Yeah.
I think I've watched one of them
Okay.
before
Are the
bed.
chosen that long too?
No,
No,
they're
it's
like
not that
30
long. Like
minutes,
30
right?
minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, 30 minutes. Not that long.
Like the length of our podcast.
Like the last
Right.
one. So you could, as your Lenten penance, you could listen to our
Right.
podcast and recommend it to a friend.
That is true.
That's just once a week.
I know, right? Once a week. Yeah, but similar to Antonio and you, we did on Holy Thursday, Good Friday, and Holy Saturday. We would not watch any TV, don't listen to any bad music. We wouldn't drink milk because my parents said worms would come in the milk if we had to drink the milk. They used to tell us that, so we wouldn't drink any milk. But they wanted us to stay away from the dairy stuff, right? So during these 3 days, we would have like, okay, we watch. My father used to put on the Passion of Christ. We would watch like many different versions of them.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
we would put, yeah, like literally watch it. But then we were always in awe of it. And then after when they were beating Jesus, and then we get teary and stuff like that. But it was nice to do these things.
Mhm. Very good. So let's also talk about the mission. You mentioned it.
Yes.
The dates
Yes.
are March 22nd, 23rd, and 24th. And
Yes.
it's at 7 o'clock each evening at
Yes.
St. Gerard
St.
Catholic
George's
Church,
Parish,
1523 Iowa,
Iowa
Street,
Street,
on
San
the
Antonio,
east side
Texas.
of San
Woo,
Antonio.
woo.
Come on over. Come join us.
Yes. And what's the theme for the mission? Do you remember what the theme is?
Believe.
Believe. Oh, that's very short and sweet. We haven't worked because we just separated the. Well, we just set aside who's preaching and all that, so we're still in works for the mission. We're working on what the topics are gonna be and how all of that is gonna develop.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll we'll get there,
Yes.
and we hope to see you there, and maybe get pictures with people and whatever. We'll keep announcing it because we still have like however many weeks left before the like
Lord.
6 weeks.
Hmm.
No, before it.
What are you trying to say, McQueen?
No, I just saw you. I just realized that you had this "I love you" thing on your table. I was like, oh, we should bring this into the podcast conversation about Lent. Maybe we stay away from love.
No, because the point of Lent, I think that Lent is the point of Lent still is love.
I know.
Yes.
I know.
It just takes in a different nuance.
It
Right.
does. It does.
Yeah.
The love of God. Yes.
Yes.
So, the spiritual practices of prayer, fasting, and almsgiving.
Yes.
You may have noticed that we didn't open a bottle of wine tonight, and that's because we're practicing almsgiving. Instead of using a bottle of wine to open up our podcast, we will take the money that we would have spent on that bottle of wine and give it to charity. That's a way of doing the almsgiving.
Clock
Yes.
it.
You're going to have to do a lot of editing. I'm telling you.
No, I don't think so. I think they would like it.
And yes. So as a podcast, we are giving up wine. for Lent? Are we? Is that what
Uh,
we're doing?
That's
we
what
did
we're
not
Or
doing.
we're
give
just
up on.
giving up wine for the recordings?
We're giving up wine for the recordings.
Yes, we are giving up wine for the recordings.
The money for the wine used in the podcast
Yeah.
is
Yes.
what I'm talking about
Yes.
going to
Yes.
charity.
Yes.
I am not giving up wine. I'm past the age of having to give up anything. Okay.
Tell us about that.
Yes,
Because I think
right.
no, because I think a lot of people at home
Yes.
don't know this.
Right.
That there's a little fine print, on the Lenten contract that it. Well, tell us about that.
People over the age of 59 are not obliged to give up anything.
Yeah.
We are certainly encouraged to take the Lenten journey with the Lord, but we don't have to do it with the same verve and robustness that we did when we were younger.
Yes.
And especially if you are diabetic or you have health
Right.
issues where you have to be on a regular eating schedule. Doing that well is like
It's your penance.
it's
Right.
following the fasting thing. So taking good care of your health, if you turn it to the positive side, that's when
Yes.
when you reach that age, it's like it turns it to a different way of looking
Yeah.
at it.
Or even if you haven't made it to that age, but like you said, if you have a
Right.
medical condition that prevents you from fasting or whatever,
Mhm.
then yes.
Makes sense.
This doesn't mean
That you don't give up being angry.
That's right. That you don't have to work on yourself.
That's right.
It's also for kids under the age of 12, I believe, that they
14,
have to.
14.
Oh, 14? Did they raise it?
Oh, that's like me.
It's always been.
It's always been.
You know, when I was a
14.
kid, we always.
Yo,
I've always had
Your
to do it when I was a
parents
kid.
Yes.
wanted you to start at an
Does
earlier
I went
age.
to Catholic school. I think that's why.
Yeah.
Does
Uh-huh.
that mean that I get to? I already put in
No.
my time.
Oh,
So
that, me too,
you
right?
deduct
Well,
from
I'm literally
65.
14 years old, so I think I'm okay. Yeah. So I can
You're not
continue.
there yet.
You can't
Do
be
not
14 years
rush
old
it.
if you're drinking wine.
I know, right?
All of last season we were.
Well, we know that you're over 21.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
We
exactly.
are over 21.
Yes, this is good. But at the end of the day, Lent is a very good time for us to set aside to reflect on our lives and reflect on our relationship with God, and we have 7 weeks to work on that relationship with God and to prepare ourselves to die with the Lord on Good
Mhm.
Friday and die to ourselves and to be raised up again
Right.
on Easter Sunday. So I think this is a good space to wrap up our podcast and leave people
Yes.
at home with the question of, as you prepare for Lent, or as Lent is taking, we're starting the first week of Lent on Monday. How are you preparing for this Lent? What are you giving up, or what are you taking on this Lent? And how do you want to grow in your relationship with God through this Lent? So,
You said we're taking it up on Monday. Did you mean Wednesday, Ash Wednesday?
well, because no, it starts. So Lent starts on Monday, on Wednesday. I'm sorry, with Ash Wednesday. But the first week of Lent starts
Sunday.
on
On a
Monday,
Monday.
on Sunday. Okay, on Sunday.
Sunday.
Yes, it starts. I'm
Well,
sorry.
the
First
the
Sunday
podcast is
First
being
Sunday of Lent.
Yeah, let's not forget Sunday.
My
Yeah.
bad. Yes,
Okay, you might need to edit.
I won't edit that.
No,
It's
it's
okay.
okay. I
I'm
think
human.
it's,
I'm giving up control for Lent. That's a tough one.
but the podcast drops on Saturday,
Yes.
so they
Yes.
will hear it on the Sunday, Monday, and
Okay.
right.
So tomorrow, the first week of Lent, tomorrow Sunday, depending on when you're listening, also. But anyway, so those are our questions for you. What do you want to give up for Lent? What do you want to take on, and how do you hope to grow in your relationship with God to this Lent? So we'll leave you with that, and we'll say bye bye for now. We are your hosts,
Bonnie.
McQueen.
and Antonio. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.